And welcome back to the 2011 CEDO Women's Curling Tournament here in Wetzikon, Switzerland. We arrived in the semifinals. On the ice we have the team around Miramot playing the Yellow Rocks, and the Russian side skipped by Olga Zarakova. She's playing the Blue Rocks here. Right now we see Switzerland lying 2. Russia looking for a takeout here. And as you can see, the Russian side is pretty young on average. The only internationally known player of this very young team is, of course, Olga Zarakova, skip. She won the European champion title in 2006. Later on, I think in the beginning of this year, she split up with her old team and built up this new team right here, taking on 4 young players. The 3 girls who are standing on the ice and an alternate player. Here they're facing off the very experienced team around Miriam Ott. Carmen Schäfer going in deep into the house here. Even though they just played an hour ago, they have to adapt to the ice once again. This one was just a hair too heavy. Same shot for the Russian side. This is the semi-final of the CEDO Women's Masters in Wetzikon, Switzerland. My name is Daniel Schifferle and I am covering for the Curling Champions Tour. Here we see Olga Zarakova looking for a takeout.
Whoa!
And she's wide on that one. No sweeping at all by the sweepers. Apparently she was wide right from the beginning, right from the release. So an easy draw for Miriam Ott here. Miriam Ott, who has represented Switzerland numerous times on the international level. In a week's time, the European Championship is going to start off without Miriam Ott. She lost the best of 3 against Binja Felcher. And so Binja Felcher will represent Switzerland in Moscow starting next Saturday. Right now we're in Wetzikon, Switzerland, with Miriam Ott looking to draw onto the tee line. No sweeping at all. This one looks heavy. And it is too heavy, just as Carmen Schäfer before. Coming down the same line. So Olga Zarakova is looking at the double takeout there. If she's going to get rid of those Yellow Rocks without jamming in behind, and maybe she even rolls into the house, and she would live 3. So due to the miss of Miriam Ott, we see a change of momentum in this end here. Let's see whether the Russian skip is able to take advantage of Miramot's mistake. Big sweeping effort here. Are they able to keeping on line? And they're not, even though the blue rock is rolling into shot position. That was not the shot Ott-Zharkova was looking for. So the Swiss side got lucky here. Miramot having hammer, taking on the task of an easy hit and stick. Standard shot shouldn't be any problem whatsoever for her. Miramot trying a takeout to score 2 points in this first end of the semi-final. Here at the Zedo Women's Masters in Wetzikon. Coming down nicely, no problem whatsoever. 2 points for Switzerland. So they take on the lead with 2 points against the young Russian team around experienced skip Ott-Zharkova in the semi-final. My name is Daniel Schifferly. I am covering for the Curling Champions Tour. And if you have any questions, just ask them. Write us an email at live@curlingchampionstour.org. I am happily answering your question if I happen to know the answer, of course. Swiss lead, Janine Greiner. This one is looking really, really nice. Coming right onto the top of the forefoot. Perfect position. That's where you want your lead to play the rock. That's Julia Gusieva, the young Russian lead. A little bit shaky on their feet there. As you can see, these guys haven't been curling as long as the Swiss have. Makes it even more impressive that they made it right to the semi-finals and are facing the experienced Miramot here. Very nice weight by the Russian lead.
Linie gut. Sieht schnell aus. Linie gut. Putzen.
Janine Greiner looking to put up a center guard, covering that yellow rock on top of the forefoot. This one is looking really heavy though. You don't want that rock to bite the 12-foot, and it doesn't. Once again, really nice weight control by Janine Greiner. She really provides her team with some backup. She's a really, really strong lead. Makes the entire game so much easier for her team. There's a saying among curlers that you don't win a game with the lead shots, but you lose a game with the lead shots. And it's really true. So important that those guards are sitting in nice positions, that and this one turned out pretty nice, actually. Even though the blue rock is sitting right in front of the yellow one. Opened up the center a tiny bit. So they're discussing now whether they should take off that blue rock on the edge of the 12-foot, lying 3 afterwards, or putting up another guard. Personally, I would probably take off the blue rock. Lying 3 rocks would put quite a bit of pressure on the young Russian side. That's Carmen Kung here. Looking to put up a guard. That's the more safer call, of course, and this one is nicely positioned. So after second rocks, Switzerland is lying really, really comfortably with 2 rocks in the house, 1 on top of the 4-foot, buried behind 2 guards. That's why Elisa Tregub is looking to change things up there by pushing the blue rock into the rings. Start to move now. Change of the plan. They looked for a split here. Didn't quite happen.
Und Achterhaupt.
One of the things you should do as a curling team is putting up tasks for the other one, for your opponent. The Russians are trying, but shots like this one are not really big tasks for such an experienced team as the one around Miramot. No problem here to take off those 2 blue rocks. Switzerland lying 2 now, partially buried behind the guard. They're lying even 3, pardon me. All the pressure on the Russian side here. Just as a quick reminder, you can always ask questions. Write us an email on to life@curlingchampionstour.org. If I happen to know the answer to your question, I will happily send you the answer. It's getting too hot for Olga Zarkova. She's going to take off that guard. As you can see, it was a good decision to put up this guard. Nice clearing here, getting rid of everything in front of the house. And now it's really important to put up this guard in the right position. You don't want to cover the shot rock here. You do want to cover the second rock, otherwise there is a possibility for a double takeout. Carmen Schäfer looking for a guard here. Just as a side note, Carmen Schäfer was voted the sexiest Swiss athlete at the Vancouver Olympic Games by a Swiss newspaper.
Нормально тоже. На сколько? На 9.
So Switzerland lying 4 rocks here. Carmen Schäfer going in too deep with her guard. Big weight shot here by Julia Portnuvova. That is the young Russian third. She's looking to get rid of more than one yellow rock. Didn't quite happen. Once again, there are no tasks whatsoever for the Swiss team. They're just putting up their rocks, and at the moment it's the Russians that are following here. In order to get to the semi-final, the Russians beat the team Drindl from Germany, and Miramot fought a Swiss battle against Tirinsoni, which she won. Big sweeping effort here to get the guard into the right position. It's too bad this one didn't curl enough. Now there is the opportunity for a double takeout. She might even get a little roll behind the guard. This is definitely a key shot in this end for the Russian team. And she changed plans onto the double takeout there. Good idea. I'm not sure whether the blue rock on the right side or the yellow rock on the left side is in a better position. Doesn't matter though, since the Swiss are going to take off the blue rock, which was just played anyway.
Okay.
Though they're not able to roll in since there is a jam in behind. Therefore Miramot is going to play a hit on the nose, hit and stick. Carmen Schäfer is once again looking at those 2 rocks I was talking about. I think the Swiss would lie 3 rocks if Miramot is going to hit that blue rock out of play. Nice shot by Miramot. No problems whatsoever here. There is a chance of a double takeout though, and Olga Zharkova is going to try this one. You can see in the back we have the other semi-final going on. It's between Andrea Schaap from Germany and Michelle Jacki. After this end, we're going to give you an update on what's happening on the other sheet there. So Olga Zarkova with a big weight shot, looking to get rid of the two yellow rocks. This one is really, really moving though. Nice shot. If she had enough weight, she would have got rid of all yellow rocks here actually. Unfortunately, there was not enough weight on that shot, and that's why the Swiss are still lying one.
Yeah. Ja? Ja. Okay. 1-2, hè?
Miramont wants to steal that rock in the forefoot. That's why she's going to put up a guard here. Quite a safe call.
Oh. Carla!
I'd say many teams would have gone for the takeout of that blue rock here. Not Miramont though, she's happy with one rock sitting on the back of the button. Nicely executed, though I'm not sure whether this was the right call. I think the Russians are still able to get rid of the shot rock by playing a hackway takeout. Even backline is fine here. Still, every shot has to be played first. Let's see whether Miramont decided on the right shot. It's the last rock of the second end in the semi-final of the Zurich Women's Masters here in Wetzikon. European champion 2006 Olga Zarkova looking for a move here, and she's going right by. Too much ice on this shot. Steal of one by the Swiss side. They're leading this semi-final 3-0. Let's see what's happening on the other sheet. So in the other semi-final is Germany's Andrea Schupp leading the game. 1-0. She's playing against the young Swiss team, Michelle Yaki, who just scored 3. Wow, look at that. That is some change here in that game. So Michelle Yaki is right now leading the semi-final against Andrea Schupp. 3-1 after 2 ends. We are covering the game between Miramont and Olga Zarkova from Russia. This one is Janine Greiner. Swiss lead. Who doesn't seem quite happy with what she played. Yeah, this one is just a hair too heavy, going in right in behind the tee line, and that's one thing you don't want, since this rock provides some backing for the Russians. Russians can always play a freeze. and build up a score of more than 1. Though we're early in the end and everything can happen. Julia Guzieva is putting up a guard first. That's certainly the right call. The Russians have to go out all the way, go really, really offensive here to finally get on the scoreboard, get back in the game. They're looking to score 2 points here, coming down with last rock.
Ja, Linie gut. Pisa. Fest. Fest. With the tooth.
Big sweeping effort here. They want to get into the rings with that shot. Janine Greiner is coming up too light though. That is a very rare mistake seen by the Swiss lead here. Still, the rock is in a quite nice position to steal. At this point of the game, Miramont is not looking for a steal though, but for a force. A force is when you force your opponent to score 1 point.
Окей, хорошо. Да-да-да. Да-да-да. Хорошо.
The Russians are just a hair too heavy, a little bit on the wrong side of the inch with every shot. They have to step up their game if they want to get back on the scoreboard here. Right now, the advantage is definitely on the Swiss side.
Ja. Ja. Oh.
Carmen Kung looking for a takeout here.
Oh.
A hit and roll, a little bit overswept there. And that's why the Yellow Rock is going right out of the rings across the face of the house. Too bad. As a quick reminder, you can always ask questions. Write us an email at live@curlingchampionstour.org.
Вес. Полине надо, Полине надо. Полине надо, девчонки. Не, нормально, нормально, нормально. Нормально, хорошо. Нет, 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 нет. О-о-о-о. О-о-о! Нет! Да-да-да.
Nice weight by the Russians here. I think a little bit too much ice. That's why this one is not covered by the guard. Since that blue rock is lying behind the tee line, it provides perfect backing for the Swiss.
Oh.
This one is really moving. Are they able to keep it on line? And they just get it by the guard. Tremendous sweeping by the Swiss sweepers there. And on such straight ice as this one, it's too bad. The two sweepers swept the best they could. Got it by the guard, and still it is almost completely open.
Вес. Да, да, да. Да, девочки, да, 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 да. Что с весом? Да, да или не да? Да, 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 еще, 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 еще. Да, 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 да. Линия отлично. Вес. Да, 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 да. О, о, да, 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 да. Давай, давай.
Very nice touch by the Russians here. A hair too heavy, I think the Swiss can still take this rock out of the house.
Afdaal.
And that's exactly what Miramata is calling for an 8.5. That is a quite heavy weight for a women's team. Carmen Schäfer is certainly able to play that weight. Swiss third, Carmen Schäfer looking to get rid of the blue rock in the house. And she's not happy with that one. But she was just able to get a piece of it. You might have noticed on the release she gave a little push in order to build up that weight. And I think she pushed it a little bit on the white side. That's why the blue rock is still in the house and not right out of the game.
Yes. Да, девочки, да. Вес. Оу. Оу. Нет. 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 Ничего. Девчонки, ну какое начало? Вот опять то же самое. Одно и то же самое.
Once again, the Russians are a little bit wide on that one. Tiny bit too heavy. This rock would have been perfectly fine on the tee line as long as it's in front of the yellow rock. The way it is positioned now, it's not a big problem for the Swiss to take it out of the house. The Swiss side are really dominating in this game here. Very nice shot by Carmen Schäfer, even though she was shaking her head at the beginning. This one started to move and curled in just enough to sit perfectly in front of the other one. Nice shot by Carmen Schäfer here. So Switzerland line 2. And the Russians are looking to change things up in the 4-foot circle.
Да, да, оу, оу, нет.
And once again, the Russian skip third, my bad. The Russian third is a little bit too wide. Switzerland still line 2 here. As the Russians are not able to take out anything at all, the Swiss can just play another draw behind the guard on top of the 4-foot. And line 3, they would put up quite a bit of pressure onto the Russian skip, Ott-Zharkova, who's looking to get back into the game here, back on the scoreboard.
Zeker 8 voor het motor. Ja, en de ideaal hand vorne 4.
Miramot playing out of Davos, Switzerland. Drawing to the top of the 4-foot here with her first rock in the third end of the semi-final at the Zurich ZO Women's Masters in Wetzikon, Switzerland.
Oh!
This one's looking quite
Lina,
wide.
good.
Starting to move now. Line is looking fine. Little bit too heavy maybe.
Oh.
And just too heavy there. And you can hear Miramont, she's not happy with that. I can understand her. Ott-Zharkova, the experienced Russian skip, can play a draw by herself, sitting right on the button. Of course, she's still looking to score at least 2 points in this end, not only 1. That's why she's still looking at different possibilities here. The question is, how can she score 2 points in this third end here?
А это она реально на 5, да, била? Сильно получился, да? Сильнее, чем я думала.
Ott-Zharkova with the attempt to freeze onto the yellow rock on the button. Concentrated look on her face there.
Да! Оу! Оу! Нет.
This one's looking quite heavy if you ask me. Worst case scenario coming up too heavy and rolling right out of the ring. Switzerland still lying 3 there.
Yeah. 4 plus, huh?
So the very same shot for Miramont once again. This time she wants to sit on top of the forefoot, not going in too deep. The mistake here is, of course, being too heavy. You don't want to provide any backing for Ott-Zharkova. Right now she's got a wall of yellow rocks behind the tee line. So as good as this end is looking for Switzerland, this is certainly a key shot here by Miramont. Last rock of the third end for Miramont.
Oh, oh. Oh. Oh.
And this one is looking too heavy. Oh, this is way too heavy. What a shame. Big mistake here by Miramont. Even though the Swiss are lying 4 shots here, they most probably won't be able to score any of those yellow rocks, since Ott-Zharkova can play pretty much any way she wants here. The one and only mistake on that shot would be coming up too light. And I'm completely convinced that Ott-Zharkova knows that, and she's not going to come up too light on this shot. You can see she's really cleaning that rock. You don't want to pick... You don't want this rock to pick any piece of debris here. And there is some dirt on the ice. Ott-Zharkova with her last rock in this third end, trying to get her team finally on the scoreboard.
Oh. Да! Да! Да-да-да, еще, да! Да-да-да-да-да-да-да-да, девочки, да, еще.
Oh, this one is moving, but the sweepers are able to keep it on line. Ott-Zharkova scoring her first point in the semifinal. We are at the score of 3-1. Advantage Switzerland and Miramont. Julia Gusieva opening up the fourth end for the team from Russia, as they're still 2 points in behind. They're looking for a steal of at least one rock in this end, and that's why they're going to put up a center guard here.
О, нет. Пока нет.
This one is looking heavy and wide though.
Ну да, это... Да, окей, ладно.
And you can see the body language of the Russians here, especially Olga Zarkova. That's where you don't want to be with that rock. You can be pretty much everywhere in the free guard zone, ideally in the center, but really not in the circles. Janine Greiner with a hit and roll here. This one is looking wide and heavy too, though. And I think telling after 4 ends there is a little bit more of a swing coming down from the left side and from this perspective here. And that's why this rock just turned in nicely
На ноль.
and stayed in the rings. So once again, Julia Gusieva with the task to put up a corner guard, a center guard. My bad. Well,
Да, да.
no,
Oh.
she's going to play a takeout.
О.
So even though we're early in the end, they already switched their strategy,
Окей.
as you can see. Interestingly enough, since the Russians have to score 2 points here, or steal 1 point, since they don't have the last rock, but in my opinion, they should build up a offensive game here. Though they decided otherwise and are playing defensively, they're playing takeouts. As this one is rolling out of the rings, this might be even the build-up of a blank end. Though, as mentioned before, only 3 rocks have been played so far, so we're really early in the end. That's why Olga Zarkova is trying to start off again right from the get-go, put up a center guard, and start to build up
Хорошо. Да. Да,
that
давай.
strategy to steal a point.
Нет, не надо. Так, нормально. О. Вы сами сказали дальний.
The weight will be fine with this one. Unfortunately, it came to stop a little bit on the wide side. For Miramont, it's still a threat, of course, and that's why she's going to clear it off. Though her front end players think that's the wrong call, and Miramont changed her opinion. That's why we are seeing Carmen Kung to draw behind that guard here.
Fish! Linie fish! Oh, это piece.
And this one picked. That's the first pick we see in this semi-final here, and wow, it is really moving sideways. Sudden movement by the rock. Look at this. Half a meter on the left side of the line, and now that it's 2.5 meters on the right side of the center line. This one almost hit a tree. So a little break for the Russians here. Let's see whether they are able to take advantage out of this mistake. Well, it's not really a mistake of the Swiss side. Out of the
Yes.
break here.
Да. О, сами вес, сами. Линия, да. Да, вес. Да.
This one is moving as well, though.
Чуть-чуть. Да. О. Да.
They're able to drag it by, and now they have to drag it right to the 4-foot circle. It's partially buried. You probably see around a quarter of the rock here.
Ott-Zhark, proberen. Hak.
As you can see, a part of the rock on the inside here of the guard. Switzerland is going to try to take it out with hack weight.
Oh.
If you're too
Ze snel.
narrow on that shot, it wouldn't be a big mistake since you're taking off the guard. Very nicely executed by Carmen Kung here. Nice weight control. Getting rid of that blue rock in behind the guard. And Olga Zarkova is now calling for a hit and roll. Even though this blue guard is not centered, it's that one piece of hope they're clinching to in this fourth end here of the semifinal at the Set O Women's Tournament. It's a Curling Champions Tour event here in Wetzikon, Switzerland. Very nice shot here. Perfectly buried behind the guard, beautifully executed. It seems as the Russians haven't give up their hope just yet. Carmen Schäfer is opening up the center. Standard shot for her. Though quite some sweeping going on. Still no problem whatsoever. So the free guard zone is all clear. And only one blue rock sitting quite nicely though. The edge of the 4-foot there. And that's the one shot, the 1 point the Russians want to steal in this fourth end here. So Julia Portunova looking for a corner guard, trying to put up a wall in front of the shot rock lying on the edge of the 4-foot. Too bad they started to sweep it a little bit too late. Missed the breaking point there. That's why the rock is still widely open and Carmen Schäfer has the chance to take it off.
Gaat niet.
This one is looking quite wide though.
Achtung.
Starting to move now. As you've seen, they wanted to roll as far out as possible, still lying in the rings though. With that shot, you don't want to provide any chance for a hit and roll behind the guard. Once again, as a quick reminder, we are answering questions. Write us an email at live@curlingchampionstour.org if you have any questions, not only considering this game we are featuring, but curling in general. If we happen to know the answer, we're going to tell you the answer. So Ott-Zharkova coming up a little bit too heavy, I think. Not much of a curl on that last shot.
Is goed? Aan de hoop. Nou, dan gaan we veel knopen. Aan de hoop. Ja, hebben. We hingen er ook gezien met ons. 10. Ja, zo namen we een vos. Oké. Ja.
Miramot looking to get rid of the blue rock. As you can see, she decided to come from the other side on quite straight ice conditions like the one we have here. Oh, look at that. The Russian player took off the center guard. I think this shows quite a lack of concentration here. Apparently she thought the end is already over. Well, once again, I have to remind you that the Russian side is quite inexperienced. It's a very young team. Only Ott-Zharkova is internationally known. She's, of course, the European champion of 2006. I think she split up with her team at the end of the last season. Now she built up this young team, skipping herself, and they made it to semifinals, which is quite impressive, I think. And they're still fighting against the experienced Swiss side around Miramot. And the sweepers are able to keep it on track and right behind the center guard. Wow, beautiful. What a nice shot. Just in that moment when you think it's all over, the Russians are coming back. And look at the faces of the Swiss back end here. They didn't expect it either. Wow.
Yeah. Good.
And I think that reminds us all of the old saying, an end is over when it's over, and not 1 second before.
In a 4. In a 4.
What a nice hit and roll. So Miramot is going to come down with a nice touchy weight there. Just back of the forefoot is enough to move that blue rock and score her 1 point here. Miramot with the last rock of the fourth end here and in the semi-final at the ZO Women's Masters 2011 in Wetzikon. And I think this one is curling just enough. Nice weight there. Nicely executed. 1 point for Miramot, leading the game 4-1. And I think we have Brian Gray coming up with our competition we have going on.
Yes, we do. We've got the results in from our 2 questions that we asked yesterday. And just a reminder about those questions, we asked to name 3 players who'd won more than 12 medals at an international curling championship. And the prize was 2 pairs of tickets for the 2012 World Curling Championships, a day ticket during the round robin in Basel. And I'm very pleased to announce that we have our 2 winners here, and the 2 winners are Fiona Brown from Forfar in Scotland, who got the answers correctly. She named Eigil Ramsvell of Norway, Peter Lindholm of Sweden, and Peter Smith of Scotland, and all 3, of course, are absolutely correct. So congratulations to you, Fiona. And the second pair of tickets goes out to Romania. It's Alan Coliban from Romania. So congratulations, Alan. You named Andrea Schopp of Germany, Annette Norberg of Sweden, and David Murdoch of Scotland. And again, absolutely correct. All those players have won more than 12 medals internationally. And the pair of you are going off, I hope, for a day in Basel to watch the 2012 World Curling Championships. That's the men's. And congratulations to you both.
Yeah, congratulations from my side also. That's quite a nice price, I think.
And we also had 2 tickets for the World Women's up for grabs in 2013. And that was a slightly tougher question. That was a bit harder to find out. And not so many. The question was, name any 2 women curlers who have competed in a World Women's Final, a European Women's Final, and a World Junior Final. And the answer must include 2 full names from women from 2 different countries. And actually there's not so many people who fit into that category. Some correct answers, there's not many, but some correct answers. Eve Muirhead, of course, from Scotland, Nicole Strausack from Switzerland, Eva Lund from Sweden, Catherine Lindhall from Sweden, Claire Milne from Scotland. Those are 5 that we know of. There are others, but there's not so many. And once again we have 2 winners, Daniel. And the first winner is Fabrizio Albonico from Lugano in Switzerland. Congratulations, Fabrizio. You have won 2 tickets. For 2 tickets for a day ticket at the World Curling Championships in Riga in Latvia in 2013. So congratulations to you. And our second winner is also a Swiss man, but he's living in Singapore. It's Thomas Siegrist. Oh. So congratulations to you, Thomas. You correctly answered the question. You had a few answers and all of them were correct. So congratulations to you too. You both have won a pair of tickets for the Worlds in Riga in March 2013. So congratulations to everybody. And
Nicely
thanks
done.
so much. We had a ton of emails, Daniel, so it was terrific to see and a lot of correct answers. And Celine, Stuckey and myself, we drew from the hat last night late and we picked out our winners. And Martin Stuckey was the independent adjudicator to see that everything was done fairly. So congratulations to everybody and have fun watching those games at those World Championships.
Yeah, thank you, Brian. So I think the winners will be quite happy with those prizes. And all the winners are going to receive an email, of course. If they happen to not watch us today, which is a sad thing, but I think 1 or 2 people are maybe online right now watching Miramot facing Olga Zarkova from Russia. Miramot is leading the semifinal 4-1 after 4 ends. And she's looking to steal a point here. Very nice weight control here. This one is coming in nicely. And look at the angles. The angles are absolutely perfect on this shot. Since you can't hit the yellow rock with the blue one staying in the game. If you try to hit this yellow rock on the button, the blue in behind of it, the blue that provides backing to this freeze shot, is going to roll right out of the rings. So putting up the right angles, especially in the 4-foot circle, is so important in curling. And that's just a perfect example of it. Very, very nice sweeping here. Tremendous sweeping action. And I think it's Russia lying shot now. Though once again, because of the angle, Switzerland might even be able to get rid of those two blue rocks later on in the end.
Het is oké, ja?
Right now, Carmen Kung is just playing a freeze though. Everything on the right line in the circle is all right on this shot here. The mistake would be too heavy.
Moest veel curlen.
And that's exactly what happened. She's a little bit too heavy on that shot. That's why the rock didn't curl quite enough. And now the angles are getting more and more in the right position for the Russian side.
Оу. Нет. Не, ну это 5-то не конец дома, девчонки, ну вы как-то это, нет.
I don't speak any Russian, but I think that Ott-Zharkova is not quite happy with that one. And I wouldn't be either. It's just a little bit too heavy.
Was dat 3? Huh? Een 4 hier.
And look at this one.
Nou, achterhoop.
Switzerland has the chance
Aber
to
wenn
hit
er-
the blue
ja,
rock
is goed.
on the left
Wenn
side
er
of
veel
the
prijst,
8-foot
kijkt erop
circle,
het deur om te
roll
heen, ja.
inside and push the yellow rock towards the blue rock in the 4-foot circle. So if you hit this blue rock with the right angle and the right weight, Switzerland could possibly lie 3 after this shot here. It's not an easy shot. So let's see whether Carmen Schäfer is up to that task. Big weight shot here by Swiss third, Carmen Schäfer. Very nicely done. Not quite the shot they wanted to. Since though she definitely changed things up in the circles here, and Ott-Zharkova didn't know which rock she wanted to sweep there. So things look quite differently now. Big sweeping action there by the Russians. And they're not able to keep it on track there. Getting rid of that yellow rock, though the Swiss are still lying 1.
Weer second. Ik op vlieg. Und was stehen? Ada, schwierig. Normal. Nicht suchen. Nur normal.
So the Swiss side decided on taking off that blue rock there. Certainly a okay call. Not too aggressive, though very efficient. Since you
Running. Running.
and very nicely executed. Look at that. Of course, it was very important that you avoid the jam in the back and roll a little bit to the center. This one rolled maybe a little bit too much though, since there is the possibility for a double takeout.
Dos samen.
That's exactly what Ott-Zharkova is going to call for here. The double takeout with a tiny roll to the side. In worst case scenario, this could even take off all three Swiss rocks. Though I'm pretty convinced that the Russian third is not going to play that heavy weight, which would be necessary for a triple takeout. Once again, this is really moving.
Oh.
Big sweeping action there. And it's over curling anyway. Switzerland still lying one. Though it is quite a hot situation here. Pretty dangerous for the Swiss side.
Vielleicht noch nicht jetzt, hä? Ich würde den Blick nicht machen. Dann spielt sie einfach den Top. Gut, wir noch den Top. Wenn wir zuerst den, suchen wir rein. Das ist schon ein bisschen raus, hä? 10,5.
So Miramot decided on playing the same rock as Carmen Schäfer did, just on the other side of the house now, which is of course the hit and roll to the center. This time around she would lie second rock though, if Miramot is able to roll right in front of the yellow rock there. So Miramot with her first shot in this fifth end in the semi-final at the ZO Women's Masters 2011 in Wetzikon, Switzerland. Oh, this one didn't curl enough, rolling right across the face of the house and out of the rings. That is quite a big mistake for the Swiss side, since the Russians can take out those yellow rocks and lie two afterwards. So I think in any case, if you go to take out the two yellow rocks behind the 4-foot circle there, you're going to put up a double takeout for Miramot, no matter what. Still, since Ott-Zharkova is 3 points in behind, she has to score at least 2 points here. And she can most possibly only score 2 points if she brings that blue rock, which is in the house right now, back in the game, back in the scoring zone. That's only possible if you get rid of that yellow rock there. That's most probably the discussion which is going on between the Russian backhand there.
не знаю, что лучше делать.
My name is Daniel Schifferly. I am covering for the Curling Champions Tour, and I'd be very happy to answer your question. If you have one, write us an email onto life@curlingchampionstour.org. If I know the answer, I'm going to tell you the answer.
Чуть-чуть. 8 целых, хорошо. Может, 9 целых, нет?
Да. О, да. О, вес. Да. Да, давай. Точно мало?
So Olga Zarkova
Да-да.
trying to freeze onto the yellow one. Big sweeping action.
Давай, давай, да, еще.
And actually, if you know Swiss German, and I happen to know Swiss German, you might have heard Miriam Ott in the back saying, well, these guys can actually sweep pretty well for their age, and I think so too. They're not the baddest sweepers there. Still, the Russian sweepers were not able to drag the rock into freeze position, though I'm not sure whether the blue rock is shot no matter what. So Carmen Schäfer just said that the yellow rock is still shot. So the Swiss side decided on drawing in behind the forefoot in front of the second blue rock there. That would take the possibility of a promotion takeout. Since if the Russians were going to play the promotion takeout with their last rock, they would most possibly just lie one shot and not second. Turned out all right. So the Russian backhand is looking exactly at that promotion takeout, while the Swiss side is fooling around a bit, and they just noticed that they're on camera. I'm gonna give a high five to my cameraman afterwards. That was one good shot there.
Плохо. Какие еще есть варианты у нас?
As the Swiss are still lying shot, the Russians most definitely have to move the yellow rock in behind of the forefoot circle there. and they still have to save their shooter since they want to score 2 points here. So the only chance is most definitely the promotion takeout here.
Так мы стояли, да?
Otherwise, I'm pretty convinced you can't score 2 points on this straight ice conditions we have here in Wetzikon.
Чуть коснемся. Ладно, хорошо, мы, да, делаем, да. Так.
Still, the Russians decided on the draw here, so they want to draw around that blue rock on top of the forefoot.
8, да, километров? Сейчас было сколько?
Just slicing by that blue rock in order to move the yellow rock, which is in shot position right now. So everything has to be completely accurate on this shot. The weight, the aiming on the broom. Ott-Zharkova looking to score 2 points in this fifth end with her last rock against Miriam Ott.
Нет, нет, нет. Оу. Нет, ничего нет. Ничего вообще.
Starting to curl now.
Оу!
Don't miss the
Только
breaking
вес!
point. And look at that. That actually turned out really, really well. That's not what they initially wanted, but since that rock was a little bit too light, they might have scored 2 points with that one.
Measure, да.
And Ott-Zharkova is calling for a measure,
Я думала, что очень сильно.
since Carmen Schaefer is still thinking that the yellow rock is better. Personally, I think so as well. I think that's only 1 point for Russia, but we're going to see a measurement in a couple of seconds.
Или у тебя был не 7?
So it is yellow.
Yes. One blue.
Only 1 blue point. That means only 1 point for Russia. So we are at the score of 4 against 2 in the semifinal. Miriam Ott leading this game against Ott-Zharkova from Russia. This gives us the chance to check out what's happening in the other semifinal, where Michel Yaki from Switzerland is fighting against Andrea Schupp from Germany. And there we're even at a very nice score of 4-4. And it's Andrea Schupp coming down with the last rock in the 6th end, so the advantage is on the German side right now. Even though the Swiss started off pretty well in this game, the advantage is now on the German side.
Linie gut, noch länger, schauen. Oh. 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 Ja. Ja, 13,8 hat er.
And once again, a rare mistake, though the second one by Johnny Greiner in this game. Coming up too heavy. And that's just the break the Russians were looking for, as this Yellow Rock is providing a good backing there in the back of the 4-foot circle, giving the Russians the chance to freeze onto that one. Julia Guzieva is looking for a draw here, behind the guard, in front of the yellow shot rock. A little bit too wide though, very, very nice weight. Though since it's too wide, Switzerland will take off this blue rock and roll behind the guard themselves. The Russians were not able to take advantage out of the Swiss miss, and Johnny Greiner is looking to make up for her miss with this takeout here.
Oh, Schwitos. Gar nicht.
She flicked it a little bit on the wide side.
Gar nicht. Nix.
Though, since the weight is quite nice on that one, she's just able
Gut. Tip top.
to push the blue rock through the 4-foot circle without jamming onto the yellow rock there.
Нет. Нет. Okay.
Once again, I think this was just played a little bit too heavy there.
Und Schock.
If the Russians would have decided on a easier weight, they would have been able to roll behind the guard. Especially on straight ice conditions like the ones in Wetzikon here. I prefer personally to play takeouts with an easy weight. You have so much more control over it with your sweepers, and that gives you so many more possibilities.
Gut.
Same mistake here, too heavy. Didn't curl enough.
На 0. Да. Да. О. Да. Да. Еще. Да. Okay.
And there we go. We have the hit and roll, though. 2 rocks too late. Switzerland is still lying shot. Still, Miramont thinks that the situation is getting too hot here. The guard is too dangerous. And I think that's definitely the right call, since Switzerland is leading the game 4-2. And she has the last rock in the 6th end. In the 6th end, you definitely want to get on the scoreboard. In order to have last rock advantage. In the last end, you try to be in the so-called even ends. And of course, the 6th end is the one and only key end among the even ends.
нет. Линии вообще нет. О, нет, нет, вообще ничего. Нет, 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 нет.
Окей. Seine Ja. Oh, oh, oh. Oh. Botza. Botza. Ja. Wat doet ze? Oh, oh. Lana doet. Huh? Lana doet.
And that's of course plan B.
Ja.
Roll on the other side.
Te veel. Zo.
Main priority of this shot was of course to get rid of the blue rock. So task fulfilled. Mission accomplished.
Да! Да! Да, девочки, да! Да, да, еще, 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 да, 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 да. Да, давай, 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 да, 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 еще, 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 еще.
Dan nemen we het aan zo, dan gewoon zo hingen. Ik wil verslippen daarna. Is goed? Daarna hoop.
So a very interesting call here. Miramont is going to take off
Oh, wacht.
the second shot instead of getting rid of the guard. I'm not sure whether that's the right call. I would personally prefer to take off the guard.
Oké. Goed.
For Ott, and that's why I would take off the guard. You don't want to give the Russians any chance to build up a possible steal, and in my opinion a center guard is a big possibility for a steal. That's why I would have taken out the guard instead of the second shot. Miramont decided otherwise.
Да! Да! О! Да! Да, 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 еще, 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 еще.
Ott-Zharkova looking for the double takeout. And even though she rolled exactly into the right direction, the weight wasn't quite fast enough, quite heavy enough, and that's why Miramont has a hit and stick for 2 to lie to here with her first rock in the 6th end. And luckily enough, the sweepers listened to the skip in the end. Otherwise, they would have overswept this rock most probably. Right now, the Swiss are lying 2, though. And there is no chance for a double takeout here without losing the shooter.
Мне кажется, надо либо двойной снимать, но не хотим, потому что мы... Потому что, да, лучше уйти сейчас. Так попасть надо почти в лоб сюда, чтобы они два, да? Лучше двойной пробить, да? Не рисковать.
Ott-Zharkova trying to get rid of as many yellow rocks as possible,
Нет.
though saving the shooter.
Да! Да!
So we have an open draw for Miramot to score 2 points in the 6th end
Yeah.
of the semi-final here at the ZO Women's Masters 2011. And if she hits the circles, she's going to lead this game with 4 points. Very comfortable position after 6 ends.
Finish Spur hier. 14,5. Dan moet even het toe zijn.
Though I am pretty sure that the Russians are not going to give up just yet. First of all, Miramot has, of course, to draw to either the 12-foot, the 8-foot, the 4-foot, or even the button. The entire house is open. All she has to do with that rock is get a piece of the house. No problems whatsoever. 2 points for Switzerland in the 6th end of the semi-final. So the Swiss are leading this game 6-2 against Ott-Zharkova from Russia. And we are checking out what's going on the other sheet, where we have a steal of 1 point by Michelle Yaki in the 6th end, and you could tell after the face of Andrea Schupp she's not happy. She's not happy, and I wouldn't be either, since a steal of 1 point in this so important 6th end is, of course, a big advantage for the Swiss side. But we are featuring this game here between a young Russian team and the experienced Swiss side around Miramot.
Is goed, John. Goed, John. Je bremst toch niet meer.
Хорошо, средний гард. Линия хорошо, линия отлично. Линия отлично. Средний. Окей. О. О. Хорошо.
Classic opening here of the 7th end. The Russians really need to score points. That's why they are going to put up another corner guard on the other side here, while the Swiss want as few rocks in play as possible. That's why Janine Greiner shot her second rock away right through the rings. So now we're going to see the Swiss team taking off as many blue rocks as possible and running the Russians out of rocks. Carmen Kung trying to get rid of one blue rock, in the ideal case even both.
Deep dog.
Хорошо. Средний гард, девчонки, или нехорошо? Средний. Окей. О, сам. Сам.
Ugly.
So same shot for Carmen Kung once again.
Oh, is goed. Open deuren.
Well, the Russians are waiting desperately for a mistake by the Swiss side. The Swiss are really just playing shot after shot. They know that it's almost over and that the chances are in huge favor for them to win this game.
Нет. О, нет. Нет. Нет, точно нет. Окей, хорошо.
Same shot once again. I don't think that there is a good possibility for a double takeout. Because if you want to play double takeout here, you do want to get rid of the shooter as well. With the angle right now, this is not an easy task. And that's why they're just fine taking off one of the guards here.
Да, Лина, отлично, да! Да, ищи, давай, да, ищи, хорошо идет, да! Давай. Ищи.
Even though there's a big sweeping action going on, they're not able to drag it right into freeze position. And with every rock which is going out of play, the chances for the Russians to get back into the game are slimmer and slimmer.
Пока просто протираем, внимание. О, внимание, да! Вес. Оу. Легко, да.
This one is looking much better. Very nicely played. Frozen with a little push there.
Nachher versucht sie da etwas nachzutappen, dann kann man sicher da noch rausnehmen. Würde der Guard? Oder schwierig, dass er gerade hier liegen bleibt.
So Miramont thinks it's too hard of a task to take off this just played blue rock. That's why she's going to put up a guard.
No.
Since she's still lying shot rock, that is certainly a possibility here.
Huh? Yeah. Richtig ist gut, noch warten. Oh, nicht rein, gar nichts.
The line is looking really great here. You don't want to take it in too deep. Very nice positioned.
Да, снять этот угар, да, он нам не нужен. Или просто, ну, надо как-то, чтобы он в доме оказался, да, случайно. Снимаем гарда, да.
So as Ott-Zharkova is still looking to score in this end, she's trying to get rid of the yellow shot rock by pushing the yellow guard straight back. A so-called promotion takeout. Ott-Zharkova trying to keep her team in the game.
gut gewesen, hä? Ja.
So Miramont is putting up just the same shot as she played before, putting up a guard. And I think this will most probably be the last rock she's playing in this end and in this game.
Ich. Warte! Oh! Oh!
This one is quite wide.
Oh, nicht nach! Nicht nach!
Oh, and the sudden movement there in the end, I think it
Noch geschnappt.
picked something. This time around, of course, an advantage of the Swiss.
Не спиди. Хорошо. Что делать?
Though I think it is possible to get by that yellow guard, pushing the blue rock onto the yellow one and lie 2 shots in the end. I think it's very well possible,
Юля, это единственное, что мы можем сделать, потому что мы проиграли.
but Ott-Zharkova seems to prefer the promotion of one of those 2 blue guards.
Куда ты хочешь, чтобы я привезла? Итак? Так надо попасть. Сколько сейчас был порез?
So Ott-Zharkova decided on pushing that blue rock onto the other blue rock, or even straight onto the yellow rock, directly onto the yellow rock. Ott-Zharkova with the last rock in the 7th end of the semi-final here, looking to score 2.
Да, еще, да!
Big sweeping action. Are they able to keep it on track? Very nicely done. Look at that. Though Mrs. Zharkova is not able to keep both rocks in the game, and that's why they only score 1 point. And so Miramont is still leading this game 6-3, having last rock advantage in the last end. So we are most probably going to see Swiss side winning this semi-final. Let's check out what's happening on the other sheet. Wow, though, that is some change there. Looks like a 2-point advantage for Germany and Andrea Schapp.
Хорошо.
That game really looks as if it was some sort of a roller coaster,
Окей.
with the Swiss side scoring 3 points early on, and now the Germans scoring 3 in the last
Да, еще.
end, in the 7th end.
Окей, все, нормально, хорошо.
Oh! Havet!
So Janine Greiner looking for a soft peeling. Unfortunately, it didn't curl quite enough, and that yellow rock is going out of play.
Okay.
While the blue rock is put back onto initial position. That's the so-called free guard zone. In the free guard zone, you're not allowed to take a rock out of the game until the fourth rock of the game is played.
Гард, хорошо, протираем. Хорошо. О. Да! Да! Да, ищи, да!
Это начало.
This one really slowed down. Might have even picked something.
Ich würde noch mal probieren, so. Musst von der anderen Seite. Tempo ist gut gewesen. Oh. Oh. Da. Oh. Oh. Da. Da.
Very nice soft peeling here.
Super.
Absolutely perfect, and Myanmar thinks it's super as well. Lisa Trigger trying to put up another guard and keep her team in the game. The Russians are still looking to score 3 points. Even steal 3 points in this end here. And she went right behind the guard instead of putting up another one. I don't see any possibility to steal 3 points here. But in curling, you're always good for surprises. So let's see how this end turns out. As Carmen Kung is clearing off this front guard without any big problems. And even getting rid of the other blue one.
Чуть поуже было. Хорошо, средний хорошо. Нет, тогда пока нет. Внимание. О, нет, нет, нет. О, да, да. Да, да, линия, да, ищи, да. Ищи. Хорошо. Молодец.
And the same deal as before, the Swiss are just running the Russians out of the rocks. Carmen Kung taking off this front guard.
Gut. Schön gespielt.
Вес. Да. Да, да. Да, давай, да, 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 да. Еще, 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 еще.
Lira. Und 8,5.
As this guard didn't curl enough, the shot rock is widely open and Carmen Schurter can clear it right out the house.
Putze! Putze ist gut! Gut, schön gespielt.
Russian third with her second rock. This rock has to stay in the rings if the Russians want to stay in the game. They definitely have to score 3 in this end, which is only possible when this very rock, which is coming to stop right now, stays in the rings. And Carmen Schäfer looks to get rid of that rock and win this game and the berth in the final of the ZO Women's Masters 2011. So Carmen Schäfer, Swiss third, looking to get her team right into the final of this Curling Champions Tour event, and she does so. That was it. Miramot winning this game after 8 ends against Ott-Zharkova from Russia. My name is Daniel Schifferly, and I covered this game for you for the Curling Champions Tour 2011. We can give you a short update that's happening on the other sheet. We have Switzerland's Michelle Yaki looking to score 2 points in this end in order to advance in the extra end of the semifinal against Germany's Andrea Schupp, who's going to play her last rock here. Andrea Schupp being probably the most experienced female skip in the international competitive curling scene today. Andrea Schupp with her last rock of this semi-final. Looking for a draw here, closing things down. A guard, pardon me. And as you can see, Michelle Yaki really only has a chance to get back in the game if she's pushing one yellow rock onto the other yellow rock and this one into the 4-foot circle. So a raise, a promotion raise. What a tough shot. So a tough shot for the young Swiss skip. She's of course pretty experienced already. She's been to the Junior Worlds a couple of times, winning the Junior Worlds as well. Now she's looking to keep her team in the game and advance to extra ends against Andrea Schupp by raising a yellow rock onto another yellow rock and this one into the 4-foot circle. This one is looking pretty nice. And it's just too heavy. Really nice try though. So Andrea Schupp is going to win this other semi-final. And in the final we're going to see a classic between Miriam Ott and Andrea Schupp at 2:30. That's Swiss time, 2:30. I'll be covering that game as well. My name is Daniel Schifferle here at the Curling Champions Tour 2011. Thanks for tuning in. I'm out for now.